Have a warm good morning to all of you. This is Tushar. Today I am going to start a session. The name of this session is Addressing Socio-Emotional Needs of Students. And this session is very important as a teacher because every classes has a lots of students who are socially and emotionally depressed. So let's start this session. Okay. At first, we start with introductions. Children who are both gifted and have a learning disabilities face numerous challenge in the classroom and in life. The students often feel as though they are a part of two worlds, as a students with a disability and the other as a students with outstanding abilities. That means in a classroom there are two types of students: a students who has lots of disabilities and a student who has outstanding abilities. Being classified as having a disabilities and being gifted, sometimes called twist expansional, can be quite confusing. These students often wonder, for example, why am I so good at math but need special help with reading? Where do I fit in? That means a student who is very good in mathematics but he is not good in reading a book. Then the student always asks his or herself that why am I so good in mathematics? Why I am not good in other subject extra whatever he or she is not good in that subject. So always he asks his or herself, as a teacher, it's our duty to keep students away why they are not good this subject and how he be good in that subject. In addition to the challenge of having a disability, gifted students may experience increasing frustrations resulting from heightened expectation and higher standard for achievement that go along with being gifted. That means gifted and a disability students always compare his or herself with other. But as a teacher, it's our duty to make him sure that the all students have have abilities. The all students are unique. Never feel them they are ununique students. They did not sorry they don't know anything. Always encourage our students. It is mandatory for a teacher and it's our duty to always encourage our students and help them for their social and emotional needs, whatever they want. Because these students are labeled as a gifted, they may be expected to be strong in all areas, when in fact their strength may lie in only one or two area. But if I encourage students a lot and always says him or her gifted students, they may be expected to be strong in all area, but it is not true. A person never strong in all area. His or her strength may be in one or two areas, but we have to increase enough whatever they want, not a lot. A result of this expectation school can be very frustrating for a twice exceptional students. Most curriculum require students to depend on basic academic skills such as reading, arithmetic, and writing, which can be areas of difficulties for many students who are gifted. Because of their ongoing conflict between intellectual stage and academic struggles, many students who are gifted develop low self-confidence after starting school. These students have also been shown to have a difficulties with social skills and often report feeling of not fitting in with their field. That means a student who is very good in another areas, but he is not good in reading, mathematics, etc., etc. Then when he or she will go to his school, he find him or herself a disabilities that as a teacher, it's our duty to make him sure he is not disability. Therefore, recognizing and support the social and emotional needs of twist exceptional students are just as important as addressing their academic needs. We must identify and serve students who are gifted in order to maximize their potential both inside and outside in the classroom. Now, types of gifted students. The successful up to 90% of identified gifted students in school program are these types. The challenges, divergently gifted, often not identified in school. The underground want to hide their giftedness to better fit in with their peer. The dropped out, angry, feel rejected, needs have not been met or have been ignored, may act out or be defense or may be depressed and withdraw. The double leveled, typically either ignored because preserved as average or referred for remedial assistance, and the autonomous learner use the systems to create new opportunities. Students who are students who are both gifted and have a learning disabilities exhibit superior intellectual abilities as well as significant disparity between their level of performance in a particular area, such as reading, mathematics, spelling, or written language, as compared with their performance in area of strength. Their lecture define their lecture. In the first group, consists of students who are identified as gifted and have suitable learning disabilities. These students may have a large vocabulary and excellent verbal abilities, where their handwriting and spelling abilities contracted the image. Students in this category also achieve on grade level, the causing their learning disabilities to be overlooked, and because of their disabilities could offer these students an out under the understanding on their academic disabilities. The second group of the students who are gifted consists of those who are unidefined. In other words, their abilities and disabilities mask each other. These students' superior intelligence seems to their learning disabilities. These usually receive instructions in the general classroom and often perform at a grade level. So we can say that's no red flag are raised. However, these students are often functioning below their potential. The talent of the students in this group often emerged. In specific content areas becoming notified later in their life. The group of students may also suffer for mild depressions. And the third group contain those students identified as both gifted and LD. Uh, they are identified more than more than those in the previous two groups because they stand out in their classroom. These bright students often fail in school and are noticed because of their disabilities, not because of their talent, because little attention is given to their strength, and these students become more aware to, to their difficulties in learning, feeling academic failure more other than success. Over time, the negative outlook on the class can lead to disparate classrooms, behavior, and feeling of low self-confidence and low self-concept in their. Now, identification method. The first method is intelligence test. The second is achievement test. Third is teacher nominations. Fourth, creative test. Fifth, parent nominations. Peer nominations. Stat nominations. Product evaluations. Rating scale plan. The assessment of gardening. Seven intelligence test and static abilities test. Identifying children who are both gifted and LD poses a challenge to teacher and a school psychologist. Both teachers and parents can have difficulties associating failing grades and incomplete assignments with giftedness. A central issue in the complexity of identifying students who are gifted or LD is the class is that their giftedness may mask their learning disabilities, and that their learning disabilities may mask their giftedness. Although these students have varying of strengths and weakness, they may appear to have average abilities and achievement in the classroom. The masking of abilities is also appreciated in the identification of giftedness and the full scale IQ score. The student's learning disability may in fact lower their IQ score and dramatically uh, that's they do not qualify for gifted service because students who are gifted appears to have hidden gifts and at the same time have the disabilities of compare for their learning disabilities. Educators and psychologists must look for the unique characteristics to identifying the populations of the students because many students who are gifted have creative interests that may not be matured in the classroom. Their behavior may be unmature, different in their home environments. Parents should be involved in the identification process to offer insight into their child's activities outside of the classroom or the school. In many cases, students who are gifted continuously experience failure in school while successfully learning and creating at home where they can put extend effort into their hobbies and interests. Developing a collaborative relationship between parents and the teachers will also facilitate productive interaction strategies. That means we have to identify our students. The students are gifted students or giftedness students. Now, the next is emotional concerns of gifted students or LD students. Okay, twist exceptional students are often caught between two worlds. Many of the students are entirely motivated and have a strong belief in their abilities. Much like gifted students, yet they repeatedly fall in certain tasks. Similarly, the children with LD, one group of students who are gifted reported having some ideas that they could not make their brain, body, or both do what they wanted each to do. Because of our strong beliefs in their abilities, gifted students also tend to have high expectations of their achievement level that are not always realistic. Therefore, a student who is gifted may experience failure much more often than he or she expects, which can result in a fear of failure with future tasks. The fear can lead to frustrations with the feeling of anxiety towards academic tasks as these students become aware of disparity between their potential abilities and their performance. Students who are gifted or LD also reported experiencing frustrations to feeling both confused and bored, not understanding why they are good at some tasks and not other. The mixed message that twist students seems to get concerned their abilities often leave them with the feeling that they must prove that are smart. As a result, some students who were gifted reported avoiding or rushing through academic tasks in which they fear failure. Often because completing the task seems more important than the strengths of their work, Websy reported. The that's not attending to a task also cope with the antiseptic frustration of a difficult task. Students who are gifted or LD often use their memories to hide their depicts, hiding their abilities can develop into coping skill. The twist exceptional students experience in the classroom can often be observed in their behavior. These students may disputing, aggressive, and easily frustrated in the classroom environment. So, the students who are gifted commonly daydream, doodle instead of listening and may act impressively when given directions. However, these students are being shown to persevering with difficult tasks when they are given encouragement and support. Now, self-concept of gifted. Gifted who is sorry, students who are gifted or LD and who having difficulties coping with their discrepancy between their abilities and disabilities may develop a low self-confidence and low self-concept. Global self in defined as a general evaluations of one's self-worth as a person. Students may also develop more specific self-concepts such as an academic self-concept which refers to individual knowledge and uh, perceptions about them in achievement situations. Because of their experience of failure school, many students with learning disabilities have lower self-concept than normally achieving students. Reaching in the area of self-concept and its relationships to LD are relatively thorough, indicating the both global and academic self-concept affecting and LD students' classroom achievement. Similarly, the self-concept of children who are both gifted and LD are lower than the self-concept of their normally achievement peer group. But how do students who are gifted or LD compare with those who are only LD? Children who are gifted or LD face the same academic challenges and the students with LD face. However, students who are gifted have additional challenges. Most students who are gifted are highly critical of themselves and tend to set extremely high goals. A student's view of his or her academic work strongly influence his or her self. Concept making students who are gifted even more valuable. The expectations of parents and teachers further complicated students' development of self-concept. Although parents and teachers may set high standards because of giftedness, they often lower their expectations because of the learning disabilities regardless of students' talent. These mixed messages are hard to interpret. Therefore, students who are gifted often have conflict, conflicting thoughts, concept, their capabilities in the classroom, and expectations of their performance, such to land to result in a low self-concept. Now, Walden and colleagues found that students who are gifted had low self-concepts. Then gifted students are believed that they were less intelligent than their peers. Two students rated themselves as a more anxiety and personality dissatisfactions than their gifted peers, appearing to intermise their prescriptions of academic behavior. Even when students who are gifted hide their learning difficulties, they may be doing so and the expenses of a lower self-concept. Now, social concern of gifted students. Students with gifted have more social problems than their peer without LD. The problem including difficulties using appropriate social skill, generating solutions to social problems, and interpreting social cues. In fact, students with LD are less likely to be leader in their peer group, are less likely to be popular, and are often more rejected than their non-disabled peer groups. What about now? What about students who are both gifted and LD? Thus, those giftedness sub are protective factors in social situations. Actually, research has found the opposite to be true. Students who are both gifted and LD are at even more risk than their LD peers because twist exceptional students seems to possess characteristics of both giftedness and LD. They often struggles with prescriptions of being different and feeling isolated. One study that's interviewed for twist exceptional boys conclude that these children seems to know how to make and keep friends but were often unable to put the knowledge to use in social situations. All boys in the class, all boys in the study reported being frustrated with their peer relationships, and 3 or 4 appeared to relate better to adults than to peer to their peer groups. Students who gifted may also experience anger, frustrations, and because of recognized and disparity between their potential and their social and academic problem, which can further influence relationships with peer. To nurtures the whole child's teachers and parents must recognize the social and emotional needs of students who are gifted. Now, supporting the needs of gifted and LD students. The essential elements in the meeting the in educational needs of the students who are gifted is providing instructions that emphasizes these students' strength and uh, interest while remedial their learning disabilities. However, many schools offers only remediation designed for LD students that is it focus only improving a child weakness. Now, one study investigating the effect of special educations on the global self-concept of students who are gifted or LD found that the self-concept source of students receiving gifted service were significantly higher than those receiving their abilities. Now, uh, strategies of for supporting the social and emotional needs of the gifted students supported service of twice exceptional children must treating the whole child's that it must include not only academic but also strategies to address these students social and emotional needs. The guidelines for developing programs foster a clear understanding of their disabilities as well as their strength to promote understanding and self prepare. If students are aware of their disabilities, strengths, and a weakness, they will be better prepared to make decisions about their future. You know, next, return to the page. Sorry, some network issues. Now, the final thought. Which exceptional students have great potentials to succeed. However, many become incredible frustrations and have difficulties coping with their discrepancy between their giftedness and their learning disabilities. Their struggles to cope with frustrations often leaves them feeling inadequate, disappointing, and angry. All of these negatively affect their concept. Many twice exceptional students are also confused about where they fit in among their peers or They often struggles with their social skill needed to maintain positive peer relationships. Teacher, administrators, and parents must first acknowledge to individual gifts as well as the needs of students who are gifted or LD. Uh, these students must then be encouraged to recognize their own strengths and limitations so that they can be better prepared for their future. Teacher must aim to strengthen these students' academic abilities and nurture their gifts while also supporting the social and emotional struggles that twist exceptional students face inside and outside the classroom by providing supporting and support that targets the whole child. We have opportunity to tap the full potential of gifted students with their learning disabilities. Uh, Teach students coping strengths to use when they become frustrated. Learning's way to cope will help reinforce a students' commitment to build with challenge tasks. I hope you got the all concept. Thank you. Have a nice day.